What's up, y'all? Welcome, Tapealert, hottest in the city. We got the brother today on the platform, Mr. Suleiman Hassan. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Suleiman Hassan.
Suleiman Hassan. Suleiman, how you doing today, bro?
I'm blessed, man.
Blessed.
Another day alive, man. Above ground.
Awesome. Thank you for coming, man. I know it's a long drive.
It was perfect.
Okay.
It's perfect.
All right, awesome. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Where you from? You know what I'm saying? The company.
Okay, well, I'm from West Philadelphia.
Okay.
You know, I'm born and raised, playground where I spend most of my days. Everybody know that Will Smith joint. But I have a company called Soldiers for Recovery, which is a nonprofit organization. Started actually about 2018, but I've been on a Soldier for Recovery mission since 8 years now.
Okay.
Since 2013, 2014. You can find my page on Instagram, Soldiers for Recovery Soldiers for Recovery on Instagram, and that's pretty much it for right now.
Okay. What made you start the business? You said you was on Soldiers for Recovery for about 8 years.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what did you see, or as far as experience, to make you wanted to go into that area.
Well, that's a great question. What made me get into it is because with my own personal battles with addiction,
Okay.
which started when I was about 13 and 14, probably younger than that. I grew up in the home in the 80s. I tell everybody, if you want to know how it was for me growing up, look at the movie New Jack City or Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was my environment. So being a product of that, coming up in that kind of environment, my mother on drugs, father was a heroin addict, alcoholic as well. It was just destined for me to just, wind up being an addict myself, to alcohol, to crime, to stealing cars, to selling drugs, So I just actually became a product of my environment, and started using every day, Started with weed, cigarettes, then alcohol at a
Okay.
young age.
Okay. First, we want to give you a round of applause for overcoming that
Thank you.
adversity. You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying?
Thank
It's
you.
big. It's major. The effects though that it had on you, were there any, did it take a major toll on you, just mentally, physically?
Absolutely. I mean, I really got deep into my addiction after I came home from jail,
Okay.
experiencing 3.5 years, you know what I'm saying? But, after I stopped, I came home, I stopped selling drugs, so that mentally done something to me, on top of the lines of finding out that a child wasn't mine that I fathered. It was
Oh.
just so much going on that led me deeper into my addiction. I started finding every reason to drink. It didn't even matter, you know what I mean? And it just got worse and worse, from bar fights to jail, to eventually getting married, me hurting my family. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
My wife, I remember coming home one night. I was up at this club down in Philly on Germantown and Shelton, the upper deck. And I remember getting hit in the head with a gun right here, scar right here. Don't even remember what happened. You know what I'm saying? So situations like that, affected me deeply. And then that night I had to walk home 15, 20 blocks, and the look on my wife's face, I didn't go to a hospital. My wife, just breaking her heart, and I could see her just putting this together, and I'm looking at her, and you get moments of clarity when you in that zone. But for me, that pain, just tired of letting myself down, letting her down, letting my kids down, But I kept drinking though.
Okay.
I kept drinking. That ain't stopped me.
Got it.
That ain't stopped me, because I continue on, getting more into my addiction.
Right. So, we see the effects of drugs, of course, and how it affects the Hispanic, Black, and Brown communities, right? But then when I look at other areas such as Hollywood or the entertainment, it affects their community, but not as bad as it affects ours. How do you what's your position on that? You know, it breaks homes. It's, of course, in our urban neighborhoods, such as, you know, they call it the projects, which I don't really like to call it that, but you know what I mean?
I mean, it happens. It's just that they don't show it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? See, Hollywood is a tool
Right.
to keep the narrative and keep pushing the agenda, so us, you know, people that's not in position or are able to have this, you know, kind of lifestyle, you know, going on to keep on buying drugs and alcohol and sex and crime. It exists. It's just that they're not showing it. I got a friend out there in Hollywood. It's a place called Skid Row out there, just like Kensington, Philadelphia. Actresses, models, all the B actors and the CD actors and the ones that used to be A's, that's where they at.
Wow.
But they know if they put them on camera, you know, society is going to look at Hollywood different. So they won't be able to sell movies. They won't be able to sell music to make everybody chase this so-called American dream. You know, the American dream is the biggest lie told to the American people, Black, brown, Puerto Rican, Haitian, white, Hispanic. You know, it doesn't even matter. You know, it's just that they're not going to put that out there because they know it's going to affect the economy, you know, in America, period. But it's happening. It's happening. But they, you know, they got disclaimers, don't bring no cameras, but sometimes that stuff leak out.
Right.
It leaks out all the time, but they're not going to just put it on front page unless somebody major dies or ODs, but it happens.
Right. And I'm going to piggyback off that. We lost Michael K. Williams.
Yeah, that was my guy, man. Listen, my brother had met him, man, and spent like hour or two with him just talking about life, man. He was so down to earth, and I wish I had the pleasure to meet that beautiful soul, man, because they don't make, he was cut from the
Original
old heads,
cloth.
you know what I'm saying?
From the original
old heads, old head. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they don't have these guys no more.
Right.
You know, just like DMX, he was raised, you know, they cut from a different cloth, you know what I mean? Despite his disease of addiction, and just as well as Michael, but you don't have these guys anymore, man. And it's just sad to see them fall off, man. And, you know, to be taken out in a way that no one is going to be ever able to replace their shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Period. No one can fill him shoes, and it's sad that he lost his life to the disease of addiction. And X, you know, who knows? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, who knows how he passed, but, you know, peace and blessings upon his family, both of their families.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
know,
my prayers is out for them, man.
for me, like when X speak, and he says a prayer, I get emotional. Sometimes I can't even listen to it because you feel where he's coming from, and to see his story and his documentary. You know, X went through. He felt like he wasn't loved
Right.
the way he should have been,
Right.
and I think, you know, I was talking to a brother one day, and he says that he introduced himself to me, brother by the name of actually he's a cousin-in-law. He said, you know, we never really had a chance to formally introduce ourselves, and we always in the same room. He said, but, you know, us Black and brown people, we always come off standoffish to each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, that makes sense. Why is that? He said that we don't want to say the fear of the unknown, but we've dealt with so much adversity
Right.
that we don't even know how to introduce ourselves normally. You know what I mean? And I think for me, you know, I'm actually transitioning. I'm changing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Meeting people. You know, when I shook your hand
Yeah.
downstairs, you got to give that firm grip. Just to, you know what I mean? No,
I felt it. Yeah.
no, that we're solid and we come from that original cloth. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
'Cause like you said, we losing a lot of people. Soldiers for Recovery. I see that you travel and you speak to the kids.
Yes.
What's that experience like?
Oh man, listen. I can't put it into words. You know, I know for me, I get goosebumps because I love what I do. You know, I'm not just doing it to do it.
Right.
You know, I'm actually doing it to first of all, a lot of people probably that's in recovery won't say this, but we do a lot of work to save ourselves first.
Correct.
I'm doing it for me first. It's just so happen it benefits others, but the kids,
It's most
the,
important.
the, the kids, like if I can save one life out of that room or out of 200-300 kids, that one life can change the whole world. You know, Bob Marley with his music, he's one person, changed the world. You know,
Right.
Obama made it to the White House. He changed the perspective on how
Right.
people look at black, brown, American people, period. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just Malcolm X. These are just one person. So every time I go on that stage, that's my intentions, period.
Okay.
I just want to save one soul. So it's like how I feel, you know, the kids come up to you. I had one kid come up to me and said, listen, man, I was just getting ready to go smoke some weed today.
Oh, wow.
After seeing your story, after hearing you speak, hearing what you went through, I don't want to go through none of that. Thank you. I'm a barber, so I had one of my clients' sons went to a school I didn't even know. His father called me up, said, yo, thank you so much. I said, for what? What you talking about? He said, listen, man, my son was just having a conversation with his mother because he don't live in a household about smoking weed
Wow.
because they had just legalized it. And he said after he heard you, he told his mom, scratch that, and he been flying straight ever since. He never picked up. So those are the stories. That's my motivation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my drive. That's my high. That's how I get high now. It's helping others. That's my disease now. You know what I mean? That and I just thank Allah for taking that, you know, disease that was going to kill me to now use it to speak life into the youth of our nation, our future. You know, a lot of times, man, the problem is a lot of these kids really don't want to do what they see on TV. They really don't want to go out and commit crimes, and majority of them just need someone to listen to them and talk to them, not at them. And I do that in my assemblies when I go to schools, and I, you know, open up to them and share my life story because I talk to them.
Right.
I never talk at them. You know what I mean? And I get excited, man, when I talk, man.
That's
you know,
what's up.
I love what I do, man.
That's what's up. Do you think that with your mission, because the people that are involved, you know, the kids, for example, the parents, but what about the people that are behind the scenes? Do you think they understand your mission?
Oh, yes. For the most part, behind the scenes, you know, they all, you know, most of the time, the adults, they all come with a story. They all have a nephew, a niece, or cousin, and someone just OD'd, someone died. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, a lot of them, that's why they bring me into the schools, because there's still some teachers and people that are behind the scenes of the kids that don't want the kids walking down those same paths or having those same experiences as far as myself or one of their family members. But the crazy thing is the kids are really the ones behind the scenes.
Okay.
Most of the schools that I got into is because the kids brought me there.
Wow.
It's because the kids go into the school, the kids go and talk to the counselor, the kids go and talk to the principal, say, yo, we need him in there.
Right.
So to speak about individuals behind the scenes, it's really our youth.
Right.
90% of the schools that I've spoken at already, it's because of the youth. The youth got me there. And that's how much, you know, they need us. They need positive influences. They need Suleiman Hassan. not Suleiman Hassan arrogantly. They need Suleiman Hassan to hear his voice, so, to speak to them.
Right.
Not at them, but speak to them.
To them.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In New York, in Manhattan rather, we have supervised injection sites. And there's one across the street from an elementary school. Now, here's my thing. The government, feds, they send money to battle, or create these programs for drug prevention, right? But then you're putting a supervised injection site, which means that it's almost telling us, all right, we're enabling it.
Right.
You can do it safely here. There's someone to supervise you. They can hit you with the Narcan if you OD. Just keep coming. I don't get it. Can you help me understand?
It's politics, man.
Right.
It's politics. Addiction is a business. Recovery is a business. That's all it's about. You notice when a certain country got taken over, right? A certain country that supplies 80% of opiates across the world, and now it's in our hands, and now we control 80% of the opiates from this in particular country. But now we have a crisis across, not just America, across the globe. This thing is deep. They don't care about the kids. They don't care about, black, brown, Puerto Rican, or white anymore. It's about business. This is big business. You know what I'm saying? Rehab centers, big business. They don't want to see nobody clean. Most rehabs are failing. 80% of people that are going into the rehabs are coming back out of 100. Because it's designed that way. Everything that we see in society is designed. So them putting that injection site right there, it's for a reason. Kids, the young minds get curious. Well, what's going on? What's going on over there? You know what I mean? So they're pre-programming kids to be curious, because not only do they have safe injection sites, they also give out paraphernalia.
And syringes,
yes,
vending
crack
machines.
Pipes. They have instructions on how to use drugs. Are you kidding me? On how to use the crack pipe, how to use a needle, how to roll up a joint. That's not there just for, it was a bright idea. No, that's strategically planned. Just like Kensington, Philadelphia.
How long, can you tell us how long has that been going on for, and what part of, just tap into Kensington.
I know, I started going up Kensington, Philadelphia myself back in about 2010, 2011. It wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? I would go up there, grab some pills, because eventually, when I turned 29, I got addicted to Oxycontin.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I was taking, just to give you a little background on it, I was taking about 10 of them a day, 512s. That led to 20 a day, then 20 at one time, then Oxy 40, 60, 6 of them at one time. Then eventually I started taking Oxy 80s, 2 at a time, you know what I'm saying? Then 4 at a time, eventually having, like, throughout the course of a day, about 8 of them. Those are $50 a pill.
Wow.
So eventually, so I would go up there, and, it wasn't that bad. You had the hustlers out there doing what they do. You get whatever you coming up there for and leave. When I got clean, fentanyl just started coming out. This is like 2013, and you're starting to see, more and more people from around the world start coming up there, hanging at this park that's up there. And eventually, it just got worse and worse.
Right.
Worse and worse. I mean, the joint is like a scary movie. You got kids young as 13 out there on heroin, shooting. It's like an open market. It's like Afghanistan. So if someone was to come there, you wouldn't even understand it. You'll be scared. You'll be scared. And it's like that 24/7 up there. Police can be standing right there, right next to a person. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So like I said, come on, man. The commissioner know about it. The mayor knows about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The senator, the politician for that area. You know, it's all regulated. It's all made that way, man. But it's so sad because you got men, women, and children who are not getting high that are affected with the environment up there, man.
Right.
You know, you got little kids, and it's like all of them walking with their head down. And mom telling them, you got to put your head down because someone just OD'd right there. Or you might see someone with a scab like this big on their leg, and they're shooting. You see people having sex right outside, right there. You know what I'm saying? And the police be right there. You know, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. So for me, for Suleiman Hassan, by the will of Allah, it's my job. It's my duty to prevent any child from seeing something like that or becoming what I've came out of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I used to be up there. I used to be up there. I used to go eventually. The disease of addiction had me thinking, why go home? My wife had a beautiful home for me. House stayed clean. Kids was cool. You know, she bust her ass. You know what I'm saying? The drug is like, don't worry. Stay right here. You got everything right here. You know, for a lot of years, man. And I don't want nobody's child, nobody's sister, brother, cousin, uncle, aunt, grandma, niece, nephew have to go through any of that if I can help prevent it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's sad, man. I get emotional about it, man.
Yeah.
I get emotional about it, man. How can you have something like this going on in the city? You know, it's right there.
Right there.
It's right there. You can't even turn a blind eye to it. And then you go and invest $2 billion in drug paraphernalia? Talking about, preventing something? How you gonna open up a school, a prevention joint drug injection site across the street from a school? What are you preventing? What are you really doing?
Right. You know, one of my favorite comedians of all time, Chris Rock, who I always title him as a wise man, and it stuck out to me. He said, drugs, there's no money in the cure. The money's in the medicine.
Right.
And if you keep producing, you will keep bringing.
Right.
Do you think that at some point, the government will say, all right, you know what? Let's just do a mass sweep. Let's clean up all the pollution of drugs.
No.
They will never do it.
No. I don't think it'll never happen. I think if they want an area, if the government want this neighborhood, the same thing that they did to Brooklyn, the Clintons did to Brooklyn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When they want something, they'll raise the taxes and force the homeowners to sell. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll clean it up. I've seen them do it in my neighborhood. I grew up down West Philly around 46th Street projects. You know what I'm saying? West Park, that area, 44th and Sansom, Chestnut. It was all crazy. They let us tear that area down. I mean, tear it down. Killing, all kinds of robbery, craziness. But then they came through, let the college came through and bought everything up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They raised the property taxes. You know what I mean? I remember houses was going for like 10 grand down there. 3-story joints. I'm talking about brownstones in Philly. Them joints worth $500,000 now.
Wow.
So if they want to, they will. So at some point, I do believe that they will clean certain areas up, but they're just moving it to somewhere else. They're just moving it to somewhere, so they're going to shift. Because right now in Kensington, they got condos that they just built.
Okay.
About 2 blocks away from that area that you see that video at. 2 blocks away. Nice joints. So I know they coming. But the question is, where are they going to push them to?
Right. Right. Has anyone reached out to you as far as celebrities or other motivational speakers?
Oh yeah. Actually, the first celebrity that ever reached out to me was Lamar Odom.
Okay. Yeah.
Lamar Odom. He was the very first one that started following and supporting Soldiers for Recovery. He put me on his page, one of my videos. And outside of that, I got my man, B. McFly.
Okay.
B. McFly, he's always up here in New York. Y'all check his page out. Me and him was together today. He's like the top motivator outside of Wallow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got B. McFly, that's my guy, that's my brother. You know, he's like a big influence. He has a big impact in Philadelphia and across, the country really, with sobriety and helping kids and just with everything. That boy, gun violence, everything. So he reached out to me and clean and safe parks. I mean, I can go on and on for the people who have reached out, and also give a helping hand. Young lady, Tight Hands. She's a stylist. Her and her husband, they always come up and bring food because I got Soldiers for Recovery Give Back Mondays where I go to Kensington, Philadelphia. Then we give out food, clothing, toiletries, and we also, if they need to go into rehab, we'll send them straight from there to rehab. Yeah.
Okay.
So, man, I can go on and on, man. My man Wells, WELL, he's a beast out there. He's one of my major resources when someone wants to go to rehab. I call him up. He has a program up and running. I got some connects down in Atlanta. If people want to leave, if you need to leave the environment, you know what I'm saying? I make a phone call, make that happen. So I got it. I can go on and on with help. So.
Have you had a chance to do any speaking across here in NYC?
That's why I'm here.
Okay.
Hopefully, this can turn into that, man.
Okay.
I look to,
definitely will.
I look to speak across the world.
Okay.
Man, Brooklyn, just not Brooklyn, but New York it's in my veins, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's in my veins, period. Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, you know what I'm saying? I used to run around up here man, look, I can't explain New York, man.
Yeah.
New York is like Philly, but just 10 times bigger. You feel me?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was always comfortable anywhere I, land my feet. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna get dug in. So New York is home to me, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
A big part of my life. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I love my New York brothers, man, and sisters.
Appreciate it, man. Man, if you can you share some motivational quotes, man, for us, for the youth, just for the people watching. Just anything, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm gonna tell anybody that's out there that's struggling with the disease of addiction, it's okay to not be okay.
Okay.
It's okay, to go and talk to somebody, to all my youngins out there. You know what I mean? I know you might have seen a whole lot of stuff that's going on in your home. You know what I mean? You don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to tell nobody. But it's that one person that you can talk to, go talk to. You know what I'm saying? If you can make a phone call to one of your aunts, your uncles somewhere that's out of town, get in contact with them. Let them know what's going on. School is still in. Go to the counselor. You'll be surprised how much help you can get if you go to your counselor or principal. And I understand you don't want nobody to know everything, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Move in silence. But there's help out there. There's resources for you. And for all the old heads that keep falling down, listen, get back up. I fell down and kept falling for 22 years almost of my life. I ain't get it. right the first time, the second time, the third time. I've been to multiple detoxes, walked in, walked out, rehabs as well. But one day you gonna get it. Never give up. And if you fall, make sure you fall on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
That's a fact.
If you can look up, you can get up. You get back up, and one day you're gonna make it. One day you will make it. And all my youngins out there, stop listening to this crazy music. Y'all got to understand, I'm not against hip hop. I'm not against, the music industry, but most of them work for the government and don't even know it. Most of them work for the government and don't even know it. And I know I'm gonna get some flack about it, but I gotta keep it 100. Half of this stuff them people talking about, they ain't even live or did. Some of them people come straight from college, take a college course, and they know how to act like a street person, but they not street people.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? Most of them don't. Now, when it come to my mans that just got booked, them dudes come from the streets. Thugger and all of them, they come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, but look at them now. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. Program your mind with something else. Some of y'all want to be doctors, lawyers, football players. Some of y'all may not feel like it's a way out because the world falling on you. Guess what? Don't never count yourself out. Bet on yourself. You can still be them things. You still can achieve those things. You can still be in those places. You can still change the world. You still can become something no matter what environment you came out of. Listen, man, I got 8 years clean. Coming up July 25th, I was sleeping on the streets, eating on the streets. I was one of the drug addicts that was leaning and slumped over. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have nothing but God, Allah gave me my life back. He gave me my wife back, gave me my kids back. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I'm able to speak to you today. So don't never count yourself out. Count yourself all the way in. It's going to be hard. I know it's going to be hard, but guess what? Keep going. And if you're living in hell and you're going through hell, you get up and keep going. Why would you want to stop in hell? When you got to keep going, because it's always cooler on the other side. Trust and believe.
Oh, man.
I am Suleiman Hassan. This is Soldiers for Recovery.
Thank you.
Check my content out on my page on IG. I got the All Must Change Assembly. And if you want to book me, just hit my DM, or you can go to my website at soldiersforrecovery.org. And let's link up, man, because New York need me. I need New York.
Let's do it. All right. Brother, thank you for coming by.
Peace,
Appreciate it. Peace and blessings to you, family. It's Tapealert, hottest in the city.
Hey, listen, man, tune in to Tapealert. If y'all not in, then y'all out.
That's it.
Tapealert on the beat. Tapealert on the beat.